Really?
Demery learns that
Tracy, how are you? I'm Detective Demery.
She's not a victim in this case. She is a survivor.
Tony Holden's charged with attempted homicide and carnal knowledge of a juvenile. Tony pled guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 15 years hard labor. I was really satisfied to see Tony go to jail. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Tony Holdens out there. Maybe not as many that start dating 15-year-olds, but they're there. And the problem is that no one ever knows until it's too late. On July 2nd, 2009, I was working evening shift homicide.
What's up, man?
When I got to the office and started to settle in, the day shift detective who was just getting off work got a call.
All right.
What's happening?
Dispatch just called in a report of a shooting. I'm supposed to be at my son's baseball game in like 20 minutes, and my wife's gonna be pissed.
Hey, man, I'll take it for you.
You will?
Yeah, man, come on, you know me.
Yeah.
It was technically still his call, but he was coming on, so I volunteered to take it.
All right, man, enjoy that game.
I appreciate you.
For some, homicide stood in the way of life. Homicide gave me life, gave me a sense of purpose, belonging, and satisfaction.
Pick up, said someone tried to rob him and he shot him in self-defense.
At the scene, they found the victim laying inside the apartment with a silver revolver in his hand.
He passed away on the way to the hospital.
Okay, we identified it.
Yeah, it's to Roger Randall.
Roger was 24 years old, and he had his own.
Can you tell me about what happened?
I'm sitting in my apartment, you know, with my buddy Lamar. You know, we just watching TV, knocking on the door.
It was Adrian Cook told me that when he opens the door, there's a man brandishing a gun, trying to rob him of his TV and other equipment inside his house.
We got to wrestling, and, you know, I had to grab my Glock.
Cook told me that he pulled out his own weapon, fired at the robber in self-defense. He said he feared for his life and the life of his friend Lamar.
I shot him, and the moment he fell over, that's when Lamar ran outside fast.
I realized that either he's emphatic about not telling the truth, or he...
It's a hell of a lot of shell casings.
Yes, sir. There was 11 of them.
Towards the front door, I noticed 40 caliber shell casing. On the dining room table, I see a 40 caliber Glock and an empty magazine. This is a lot of gunfire coming from Cook's weapon. Self-defense, usually somebody's reacting to a threat, and once that threat goes away or you get control of the situation, the gunfire ceases. That amount of gunfire just doesn't quite... It still didn't make sense to me that Cook fired 11 shots and Randall fired 5. Randall was shot and killed and Cook was not injured. The fact that there are so many gunshots just doesn't make any sense that this was over a robbery.
Where was the gun found in relation to the victim?
When we first got here on the scene, it was in the victim's hand.
Finding officers know a genuine crime scene from one that may be staged.
You know what? Let's get Cook and his buddy Lamar down to the station, and we need to talk to them again.
Yes, sir.
My thought at that point is there are a lot of red flags here.
Thanks, guys.
These inconsistencies are very disturbing. It's time to move the shooter and the witness to the police station. I want to get an in-depth and thorough interrogation of the both of them. As I'm going back to my car, I notice a familiar face. It's one of my confidential informants, a CI. I naturally go over to talk to him. Talking to an informant outside where everyone can see requires a lot of delicacy.
Hey, man, so you know anything about this?
Yeah.
You have to kind of get what you can as quickly as you can and as quietly as you can.
Over there in the apartment, he the dealer. Guy is shot, it's a customer.
No kidding. Randall, brother who got shot.
Oh, man, can't get right.
The CI tells me that Can't is the Roger Randall, the dead guy. His street name is Can't Get Right.
You sure those two knew each other?
Yeah, man. Later, Demery.
All right. Be good, boy.
This information changes the scenario completely. Clearly, Cook is lying about the intruder, and I'm sure it's not the only thing he's lying about. I'm investigating the shooting of Roger Randall. Randall was supposedly shot in a home invasion. The shooter, Adrian Cook, claims he had fired at Randall in self-defense. Now I've learned that the victim and the suspect actually knew each other. I informed her that her son had been shot and killed.
I'm sorry.
I was devastated. It's a mother's worst nightmare. I wouldn't want it to happen to anybody.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Roderick?
He had just recently gotten married. He was so excited about his new family.
The Roderick became a stepdaddy of 2 kids.
Roderick was a very active stepfather in my kid's life. He was extremely excited about getting his chauffeur's license to be able to provide for his family.
Now, I understand he had a nickname?
People would call him and tease him. Can't get right, is what they said.
His friends in the street call him Can't Get Right. I hated that name.
And that's normally given by buddies and friends that know an individual and know him the best. So the nickname was probably appropriate and well-fitting.
You've got to find out who did this to my boy.
I will do that. Again, I'm really sorry. This is Demery.
As I leave the Randall home, I get notified that the autopsy has begun. I know that I have Lamar Mayweather and Adrian Cook at the police station, but it's important to go to the autopsy.
I'm on my way.
Autopsy is valuable for investigators because they're the voice of the victim who cannot tell us anymore what happened.
So what are we looking at here?
Well, you probably know already our Mr. Randall here took a number of bullet shots.
The first thing that I learned is that Randall has been shot 12 times. His buttocks, his hip, his back, his arm. For a self-defense shooting, someone's going to be shot as they're facing the person they're trying to harm. This shows at least at some point his back was turned to the shooter.
These are the projectiles we pulled out of the body. 7 of them.
Just 2 different calibers.
That's right.
This wasn't a home invasion, self-defense. This was a murder and an attempted cover-up. It's time to get the truth out of both men. I begin with Lamar Mayweather.
Basically, it's just going to be kind of the same thing that I asked you out in the field. So, yesterday, well, I don't know, because I was sitting on watching TV.
I realized that the only person I'm going to get a story from is Adrian Cook. I need to talk to him.
Give me a little background on your relationship with Can't Get Right.
The first thing I do is inform Adrian Cook that I know he and Roderick Randall know each other. This wasn't a random home invasion. Cook then changes the story and tells me that he sells drugs and he sold drugs to Randall in the past.
I get a call from him. He wanted to get.
Cook told me that he watched Randall go down to the car to get his wallet. He said he felt something spooky, so he had a .40 caliber handgun. He grabbed his Glock and put it in his waistband and waited for Randall to return.
I'm back in the door, so I go to the door to try to lock the door. And as soon as I turn around, he got the gun. Hey, baby, I gotta get you.
Cook said that he took that to mean that Randall was gonna rob on him.
So I went ahead and grabbed him and turned him around like gun.
You stop someone in the middle of their sentence, or you can lose valuable evidence. The strategy is always to let them lie. And once they lie and they lock themselves into a story, then you come back and clean it up.
Now,
gun.
The first question I got is the 3 from the 38. How did that happen?
By us tussling over that gun. I guess he thinking it's still on me, and he popped.
So you think he shot himself?
I know he shot himself.
That is just complete. I wanted it clear that once investigators got there, that we knew that Randall's gun was Randall's gun, so he placed the gun in.
To make sure that y'all know that's his gun. I can't.
Well, that's fine. I mean, if you want us to make sure that we knew that was his gun, then say that. Gun. It's so easy. Look, man. It's so easy to just say the truth. You know, it ain't gonna get no worse than this. He's already dead. You already in jail. It don't get up to somebody to guess, is what I'm saying.
At that point, I knew the story and the crime was completely manufactured by Cook. Cook shot and killed Randall and tried to cover it up.
I don't know why that man came and tried to do me like that, man. For real, man. All I know was, man, I was scared for my life, man.
Adrian Cook can cry all he wants, but he isn't fooling anyone. I think Cook had convinced himself that he was going to be robbed by Randall. And the fact that this was a dispute over marijuana means that self-defense cannot be claimed. I believe in the day of Randall's murder, Cook and Randall had a conversation.
That's what I'm talking about.
What the hell is you doing?
Come on, man. You know I'm good for it.
You better give me my bread, homie, or put that back on the table.
I'll go get it.
He sent Randall downstairs to get the money. Randall went to his vehicle, and Cook armed himself and laid in wait for Randall to return. Once Randall came inside the apartment, Cook locked the door behind Randall. Cook says that at some point, Randall pulled a gun.
Lamar!
Wait, no!
Cook rushed Randall. He shot Randall. He picked up the firearm and put it back in Randall's hand, went downstairs and called the police and told the police that he was being robbed of a TV. I don't know for sure that Randall attempted to rob Cook. It's very possible that he did pull out rob him, but it's also possible that he just didn't have enough money and he had a gun on him, and Cook decided that he was gonna rush him, take his gun, and shoot him.
You think he's slick?
Hey, good, bro.
Nah. He think he's slick, homie.
Adrian, chill.
Yo, I ain't stupid.
Come on.
He think he's slick.
But it's also possible Cook just wanted to kill Randall, so everyone else would know not to rob him. Everybody knows that Cook is not the guy to mess with. He'll kill you.
With our laws in Louisiana, an individual cannot claim self-defense when they're engaged in the transaction or distribution of drugs. Adrian Cook was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Adrian Cook was a cold, callous murderer. It kind of blows my mind that Cook thought